You can go home today.
And I want to go home with him.
What did I do to make you think that I was capable of murder?
I was trying to use it against Carissa.
You put a target on my back.
I want you out of the house.
The only person with more power than me here is God.
I wish you were the man I thought you were. Darius and I may have found a way to get H&H out before the wrecking ball swings.
Don't assume that Tara's any better than Rochelle.
I talked Bass out of killing me. This can't be much harder than that.
Famous last words.
Alright, Greenleaf fans, that was the trailer for this week's episode, the 4th day, airing July 14th. Remember, this is season 5, episode 4, meaning that we're already halfway through the final season. Synopsis says, Grace discovers a key informant during her investigation into Edenvale lending. Charity's desire to honor the church's past may threaten her future within it. And finally, it says Bishop decides to take the issue of the house into his own hands. Now, before going any further, if you are new to the channel, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, and everyone hit the bell notification icon. I know some people say that, hey, Jeremy, I have the all notifications on, but it still doesn't work. As simple as it is, just try cutting your notifications off and cutting them back on again. I know other YouTubers are facing the same problem. We had a great time a couple of nights ago having a live stream discussion about the Will and Jada Red Table Talk. And that sparked the discussion of me doing a podcast again. And I might, I really will try to get one going by the end of the month. So check out the live stream if you haven't already. And also, once again, please, notifications. That way you know when I post stuff and do live streams. And also give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Now, the trailer actually went along with the synopsis pretty well. Grace discovers a key informant during her investigation into Edenvale lending. There's this one scene where Grace is talking to, I believe, Charity, saying that Darius and I may have found a way to get H&H out before the wrecking ball comes. And there's a scene where she's on the phone and it looks like she's calling an older gentleman who's sitting in a park playing chess. And I'm guessing that's the informant. Charity's desire to honor the church's past may threaten her future within it. We get a couple of scenes of Charity where one, she's with Judy, and Judy's like, the only person with more power than her in this building, the only person in this church with more power than me is God. Pretty much, lending herself to being even more powerful and influential than Phil, which I agree with due to the fact that her father is Bob. And then there's also a scene of Charity and Phil, I wish you were the man I thought you were. So Charity might get fired or she might quit in this episode. And then the final part, Bishop decides to take the issue of the house into his own hands. He has a standoff with Jacob. I think it's Jacob, May, and Bishop sitting at the dining room table. And Bishop's like, what have I ever done to make you think that I will be capable of doing something like this, murdering someone? And then Jacob's like, well, I was just looking into this so I can use it against Carissa. And then the follow-up scene after Bishop is like, there's a target on my back now, is May telling Carissa that she wants her out of the house. I cannot wait to see this scene. Is May going to slap Carissa again? We'll have to wait and see. But the trailer itself starts off with AJ being able to go home from the hospital. And interestingly enough, and sorry, motorcycle in the freaking parking lot. Interestingly enough, AJ wants to go with Noah. And if I'm not mistaken, Noah's like, for the time being, he's at his mother's house. So I guess that means that AJ will be able to get to know his father, who never knew he existed, as well as his grandmother on his father's side. We also have Bishop talking about the situation of the house, saying, and I think Bishop and Tara are actually going to interact in this episode. And I know I say it looks like, when it's like, Jeremy, the trailer clearly shows these two together. Some of these trailers have been slightly misleading, where there are scenes in the trailer that don't occur in the episode that the trailer's for, if you see what I mean. Like, the trailer shows one thing, but the scene it's showing isn't until like an episode later. So basically May's trying to warn Bishop, like, hey, don't underestimate her, don't assume that Tara is any less dangerous than Rochelle. It's like, well, I talk basically out of murdering someone, I can handle this. Famous last words of a dead man or something like that. But here's my question of the trailer more than anything else. why would Grace tell Charity about excuse me, why would Grace tell Charity about the plan to get back to church? I really think that maybe either Charity gets fired, she quits, or she makes it clear to her family that she just hates being there and what the church is becoming, because that one sentence, Charity's desire to honor the church's past may threaten her future event. And maybe she comes home from work, tells her family what's going on in regards to Phil and Judy's plan will change this certain aspect of the church that was near and dear to them. And as a result, that's where it's like, you know what, Charity, we have a plan. Because based off everything, Grace of all people, why would she even tell Charity the plan to get the church back? So there must be something serious that goes on that opens Grace to the idea that Charity can be trusted, and it's like, hey, don't worry, we're going to get the church back. So we'll have to wait and see what this informant has to say about Eatonville lending. And looking over the notes, I think that about covers it. I'm very interested to see. Also, you know, May and Carissa, like I said, I really want to see how that scene is going to play out. And then the fact that, do you think Jacob was wrong for doing what he was doing, investigating? I mean, it really seemed to be going well until we got that scene where Tara makes that mysterious phone call to somebody. And, I mean, to be fair, if Jacob didn't do his investigating, then we definitely would have had a lot of trouble with Carissa pulling that will. So we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But I mean, it seems like Jacob has gotten to it will put his father in a compromising position. Like you said, there's a target on my back, almost like Grace in her investigation where, well, I still say Darius got fired. I'm not saying I blame Grace, but I think because Darius and Grace went on their little investigation, as a result, you know, Darius got fired. So Darius suffered from that. And now Bishop's most likely going to suffer for Jacob's investigation. And Charity, I'm not going to say Charity's going to suffer because she's just, basically, she's not in an investigation, but she's sticking to her guns in this new H&H and wants things to be done the old-fashioned way, which could be the result of the scene between her and Judy, where she's like, nobody in here has more power than me than God. So I do feel like Judy's going to implement some kind of change, but then Charity says the church passed, blah, blah, blah. And then that's probably going to give her one of those situations where it's like, hey, you can do it my way or you can hit the highway. So I think that's probably how that's going to end up. But with that being said, I think I've blabbered on long enough. This was a pretty good trailer, and Tuesday will be here before you know it. So with that being said, if you would like to donate to the channel, make sure you do so on PayPal, on Cash App, or you can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And actually, I believe I have a new bruh tier patron at the $1 level. If you could just give me 1 second, because I was catching up on my emails, and I believe this new Patrick McGee, thank you so much for joining the Patreon family. And for everyone on Patreon that got their DVDs, I mailed off, what was it, about a week or so ago. Thanks for letting me know you received them. And also, I will be doing more Patreon content very, very soon. This is our first official week that we don't have any pressing things to talk about. What I mean by that is we have Greenleaf on Tuesday. We have The Oval on Wednesday. And remember, after this week's episode, there are only 2 more episodes of The Oval. So don't worry. I still have a lot of content I want to cover, but I don't think I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to be uploading like 20 videos in a week or something like that. It's going to be very spread out. I'm going to be doing my Have and Have Not and If Loving You Is Wrong rewatch. I'm actually taking a short break from working on my taxes to record this video, so I should be finished with my taxes by the end of the day. And after that, that's pretty much it. My eBay stuff is pretty spread out in terms of auctions, meaning that throughout the week I'll have one day where I'm working on eBay stuff and then another day where I'm working on eBay stuff and throwing in videos in between. So this is great because it's going to allow me to kind of branch out and do more things. And I do have another interview coming up with a cast member. I was talking with Caroline Harris, aka Valerie from Bruh. We were actually talking on Instagram the other day. We're going to try to put together a schedule for when we can do an interview. Very interesting character on the show, and very nice actor. And with that being said, I'll keep you posted on everything. You know the drill. Just make sure you like and subscribe so you keep up to date with everything else. And we are so close to 25 million views. I believe we are a little over 175,000 views to get there. So we'll get there soon enough. But with that being said, hope everyone has a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.